They tied the noose. The crowd gathered, his crimes were read aloud, and when the trapdoor dropped he didn't die. Not once, but twice. This man survived the impossible. Was it fate, a mistake, or something darker? This is the true, bizarre story of John Halfang Smith, the man who cheated death in a time when the gallows rarely gave second chances. Let's rewind the clock to 1705, in early 18th century England, where executions were more than punishment. They were public spectacle. Thieves, murderers, rebels, all met the rope in front of cheering crowds. And that's where our man, John Smith, enters the story. A petty criminal with a long list of small-time thefts, John was finally caught red-handed. The sentence, death by hanging at Tyburn, the most feared gallows in London. It was a cold December morning. Smith was brought out in chains, surrounded by jeering crowds. He stood on the scaffold with 15 other condemned men. A mass execution. The noose was tightened around his neck. The chaplain read his last rites. And then the platform fell. Pause. His body dangled, legs twitching, gasps, silence. 15 men hung, 15 presumed dead. But as the corpses were cut down, something strange happened. John Smith was still breathing. Barely, but alive. Some say he had a strong neck. Others believe the rope was poorly tied. Either way, he had survived the hanging. And here's where the story gets bizarre. According to Old English custom, if someone survived their execution, they were sometimes granted a royal pardon, as if divine forces had intervened. And that's exactly what happened. The crowd roared. The authorities, baffled. John Smith was set free. You'd think he'd turn his life around, right? Nope. Within a year, Smith was arrested again for theft. The court didn't show mercy this time. He was sentenced to hang. Again, the people couldn't believe it. The man who cheated death was back on the scaffold. Rumors swirled. Was he cursed? Blessed? Some came to watch out of morbid curiosity. Others feared the man might be immortal. But the executioners weren't taking chances. This time, the noose was double-checked. Tight, thick, oiled. The drop was calculated. Pause. And John Smith survived again. His body twitched, but after several minutes, he was cut down, alive. A miracle. Or incompetence. This time, the king himself got involved. The public was stirred. Religious leaders called it a sign from God. Newspapers spread the story far and wide. The authorities caved. Once again, John Smith was spared. He would go on to live several more years, not as a criminal, but as a man forever remembered as Halfang Smith. Now let's break this down. Was it divine intervention? Medical experts suggest he may have slipped partially from the noose, reducing pressure on his windpipe. Some believe he faked death well enough to fool the hangman. Others think the rope or drop was miscalculated. But the more fascinating question is this. Why did they let him live twice? Was it superstition? Guilt? Public pressure? Or did the British justice system have hidden cracks? Even in the 1700s, whatever the reason, John Smith remains one of the strangest tales in execution history. A man meant to die, but didn't. Twice. Not a hero. Not a saint. Just a thief who, for reasons no one can fully explain, refused to die when told to. And that's why his name is still whispered in old British folklore. The man who survived his own execution. Not once, but twice. History is full of stories like this. Strange, disturbing, and nearly forgotten. Subscribe to Forbidden Realms to uncover more dark corners of the past. New mysteries every week.